Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick. We have Harrison and Sean with us tonight. How we doing, fellas?
What's up, boys?
Awesome. How we doing, boys?
Doing pretty well. So we have a lot to get to tonight, so we'll jump right in. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right. The MLB All-Star rosters are set. Home Run Derby isn't yet, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So MLB All-Star rosters are set, and here I'll just run down the list of AL starters real quick. Catching Adley Rutschman, first base Vlad Guerrero, second base Altuve, third base Ramirez, shortstop obviously Gunnar Henderson, and then outfield you got Judge, Kwan, and Soto, and finally Yordan Alvarez gets his due now that Shohei is out of the AL. Thank God. So Alvarez gets the start at DH there for the American League. National League, you got Contreras behind the plate, Harper at first, Marte at second, Bohm at third, Turner at short, Profar, Tatis, and Yelich in the outfield, and then obviously the show as your DH. What do you think about those starters right off the top? First,
Who were the three outfielders for the National League again? Profar,
Tatis Jr. and Yelich.
And Yelich. Okay.
Yeah, I mean those lineups are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean you could always dig in, man. I mean, you could always every year you could talk about this guy deserved more, this guy deserved to start, this guy deserved to not. Like you can always do that every year. But like I don't look at that and be like, none of those guys are deserving. Yeah. Like they've all had good first halves of the year. I mean, I think it's all, I mean, I think you get a little nitpicky, like homerish a little bit, but I think Jarren Duran should be in the conversation for starting, just with kind of what he's done offensively, what he's done defensively, certainly running the bases. I mean, this is a team that nobody expected anything from, and the Red Sox are grinding, man. They're 8-9 games over 500 right now. They're grinding their way, and this guy kind of sets the table, and he's a big leader for them. So, I think you could make a case, but outside of who though? Like who are you taking out for him? So I get it. Like I totally get it. I just, I think, like I said, you could kind of have this conversation every year, but I don't think it's an egregious list at all. Either team. I think they're both good teams.
Your outfield reserves are Duran, Riley Green, and Kyle Tucker. So you got to take those three and replace them with Judge, Soto, and
Kwan.
The third Kwan. And Kwan just qualified for batting average lead at 360. So I mean,
but the problem with Kwan is he hasn't played. Like he's got a fraction of the at bats. The reason why he barely just qualified to lead.
Right. Yeah, he's not.
Right?
He missed a big chunk.
He spent so much time injured, and it's taking nothing away from him. But I mean, the best ability is availability, and if you're missing a good chunk of the first half of the season, yes, when you're there and when you're playing, you're disgusting. But I would, to me, what a guy like Duran is doing is much more impressive considering he's playing every day.
It's fair. It's a fair point.
Yeah. And, Kwan's missed 25% of the season. Yeah, that's a fair point. Duran's been out there every day. Was it first player in history to have 100 hits, 20 triples, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases? No, not 20
doubles.
20 doubles in the first half of the season. He's doing something that hasn't been done before. He's been out there every day. For a Red Sox team that was kind of struggling to find its way and has started to put things together, a lot of it because he continues to come through with important hits and big moments for them, and not to mention plays really good center field.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. I mean, the one player that I feel the worst for is Bobby Witt Jr. Here's a guy who's going to get MVP votes.
Yeah,
who's the backup because he's sitting behind Gunnar Henderson, the only guy in baseball having a better season than him. It's crazy. It's crazy the level of talent on these two rosters and in these two starting lineups. It's going to be fun, and I would not want to be a starting pitcher against those lineups.
No, and we'll get to the starting pitchers in a minute. But so National League outfield, we got Teoscar Hernandez, Jackson Merrill, who's destroying Major League Baseball right now, Helio Ramos, who's having a great season, and then Brian Reynolds. So would you switch out any of those guys for your National League starters?
No, I don't think so. I think Nimmo is a guy we mentioned before we started the show.
Yeah.
I think probably could make a case that Nimmo deserves to be on the roster at all. Maybe not starting, but named as an all-star. I don't know, though. As far as like the roster's concerned, like the actual roster, I think they got the starters right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've got, Brandon Nimmo and Francisco Lindor had a compelling case to be there. In the AL, Jordan Westberg is arguably better than most of the infielders chosen, but he was kind of the odd man out. Christian Walker, most RBIs and home runs of any NL first baseman, he's not on the roster. Like, I think there's a few cases where you can say, boy, that person like really had a legitimate case to say they should have been there. But those rosters are super deep, and the starters are picked by fan vote. It's kind of hard to argue that's who people want to see play. I think I look at the starting lineup as that's who the fans want to see play. The bench is made up of the guys that deserve to be there that weren't in that wave. And generally, I feel like they get it right. And I feel like those rosters are solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We'll run down the pitchers real quick here. For the AL, you got Tyler Anderson from the Angels, Corbin Burns, Class A, Crochet, Gilbert, Holmes, Tanner Houck, Seth Lugo, Mason Miller, of course, Cole Raggins, Tariq Skubal, of course, and Kirby Yates. Who do we think gets the start there? I think it's got to be Skubal, right?
Skubal.
Probably, yeah.
Skubal. I mean, that dude is the best pitcher in baseball right now. Period. Not even sure there's an argument.
I'll tell you, until the recent blow up there, I think there was a legitimate case maybe 2 weeks ago you could have made for Tanner Houck to have a little bit of a case there.
Yeah, Luis Heel too.
Luis Heel, not even on the roster.
I'm not even on the roster. That's a whole other story.
I think who was it that knocked him around? Not last start, but 2 starts ago. That knocked Houck around.
Was Houck Tampa?
It might have been Tampa. Was it Toronto?
Yeah, it was either Toronto or Tampa. It was in that stretch.
Yeah, he got his slider just wasn't there. It was too flat, and he was just getting hit all over the ballpark. But up until then, I mean, the strikeouts per 9 were insane. The strikeouts per walk was insane. The swing and miss was insane. The ERA was down. The whip was like under 1. I mean, like there was like a legitimate case up until about 2 weeks ago that you could make a case for Houck. But I'd say of the guys you mentioned, it's got to be Skubal, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, it has. I think it has to be. He's completely dominating right now. So
it's not even right what he's doing. No. You look at his age and the fact he's a rookie, and that's impressive enough. But like, he is by far the best pitcher in baseball right now, and I don't think you can make an argument any other way about it. No. He is dominant every single night.
Yeah. All right. National League, we got Glass now, which is his first All-Star selection, which is crazy, but we talked about it before. You got to make it to the All-Star break health-wise in order to get there.
Glass now is known for taking kind of June, July, August off. That was kind of his MO.
Yeah. Helsley, Hoffman, Imanaga, Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale, his 8th All-Star selection, Tanner Scott, Paul Scanes, you just come up and make an all-star game. No biggie. Matt Strom, Ranger Suarez, Robert Suarez, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler. Who gets the start here? Could we have 2 Southpaws with Imanaga? Does Imanaga deserve the nod?
I so badly want to see Skubal versus Skeens, a battle of the rookies. That'd be awesome to have 2 rookie starters
at an all-star game.
That would be amazing.
Pretty sweet. I agree.
I mean, Imanaga would be a rookie too, but like not like the same. Like Skeens and Skubal are the young, brand new, up and coming guys. I get the Imanaga's a rookie, but only because it's his first MLB season, not because it's his first professional season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a little bit tougher for me than the American League. I'm not sure. I think there's probably like 4 or 5 guys that you listed that I'd be fine with. Like I think there's a number of National League pitchers that have really like not just not just rookies that have come up and made an impact like a Paul Skeens, but like just to come up and be dominant and just to dominate like at this particular level, like every time you touch the mound, and it's not really one guy. I'd like to see Skeens. I think it would be awesome. I think he's a quirky looking dude, but like he's electric. I'd love to see him just get up there like 99 Pedro and just like challenge these guys. Just be like,
Yeah.
I'm coming here with nothing but heat, and like I'm bringing it to you guys every pitch. Like I'd love to see something like that. Like that'd be fun. But
yeah, I
we'll
agree.
see.
Yeah. So we'll go to the reserve section here. So American League catchers, we got Sal Perez is your reserve there. National League catchers, you got Will Smith is your National League catcher. We'll get to him in a little bit because, yeah, he had a crazy week last week. American League infield, you got Correa, Devers, Josh Naylor, not Bo Naylor, Josh Naylor, Isak Paredes, Marcus Semien, and then Bobby Witt Jr. So, I mean, no really snubs there, I don't think. All deserving.
No, and I apologize. I keep calling Scooble a rookie. He's not a rookie. This is his fifth season.
Yeah.
I keep calling him a rookie, and he's not a rookie. He just hasn't been relevant for 4 years.
Yeah. And then we got National League reserves, CJ Abrams, Pete Alonso, Luis Ariz, Mookie Betts, Ellie De La Cruz, Freeman, and McMahon.
Did you see the fact this is Mookie Betts' 8th All-Star game?
Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, he's insane.
8.
Wait.
8.
So he's selected even though he's been on the shelf for a month?
Yes. He was still voted, right? Because he's a starter? Or is he
He's a reserve.
No, he's a reserve.
Oh, yeah, he got chosen, but he won't be there.
Gotcha. So they'll probably fill that roster spot then with somebody.
Yes. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I would assume that he's not going because he won't be healthy for it, and they'll fill the spot.
Which
maybe that's where a guy like Lindor or Nimmo can slip onto the roster after all is said and done.
Yeah. And already did the outfield reserves, but those are your roster for next Tuesday night. So it should be, like you said, I don't think there's many snubs. Obviously, you can make a case, like you said, for Christian Walker, Brandon Nimmo. There's a couple guys you can get in, but you got, 24 spots, 25 spots? So
yeah, you only got so much space.
Yeah, exactly. So all right, let's switch over to the home run derby. We're still got 3 spots left, fellas, but here we go. We got 5. We got Alec Boehm, Pete Alonso, Marcell Ozuna, Gunnar Henderson, and Bobby Witt. So Boehm, Alonso, Ozuna, and Witt announced today, I believe. And then it was Henderson a few days ago. So we got 5. We got 3 more spots. Who would you guys like to see fill those next 3 spots? I have one that I would like to see for sure, and that's Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah, I would love to see Ellie get in there.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that. I mean, you look at Judge, Soto, Shohei. Like, it'd be good to see one or two of those guys step in and bring some real like headline name to it.
Yeah, and nothing against these guys. Like I don't. This is gonna come off, but. Like back when we were growing up, like the home run derby was great because it was like the best power hitters in the league.
Oh yeah,
were showing off is like you were going to be crowned like the best home run hitter in the league because like the best of the best were competing in it. Like if we had the best of the best, like you would have Judge in there, you would have Soto in there, you would have Alonso, you would have Shohei, you would have, I mean, Gunnar Henderson this year. I mean, he's guys got what, 27, 28 home runs.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But like it's, and this is nothing against Boehm, nothing against Bobby Witt, nothing against Marcell Ozuna, but like, give me the big guys. Like give me Soto, give me Judge, give me Ellie, give me Christian Walker. I mean, most home runs in RBIs and first baseman in the National League. Like that's a power hitting position. Like it's pretty damn good to have that kind of title there. Like give me these guys. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and when we were watching the Derby back in the 90s, that's how it was. Like it was Griffey was there every year, McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro. Like it was the top guys every single time. And you would occasionally get like one of the lesser known power guys that would like fill it out, but like the headliners were always there.
Yeah. And Judge said he won't do the home run derby again until the All-Star game's back in Yankee Stadium. So
okay.
that's what he said. But
I mean, I
we'll
know,
see.
I realize there's like no big incentive for these guys to do it, other than the fact the fans love it. But
Right. And the format is taxing right
it
now,
is.
which we talked about, last week. It's not, take your 10 outs at your own pace. It's like, hey, you got 3 minutes, 40 pitches. Let's see how many you can get. And it's like crack. It's like it's a speed round. So,
Well, I think you saw a guy like Adolis Garcia last year get out there and struggle with it. I think that's the other fear. Some of these guys get out there and like, well, geez, if I don't go hit a bunch, like that's not a good look. And I'm gonna wear myself out, and I'm gonna get in some bad habits, and I gotta go back in the cage and get it figured out for the games to start again. And it doesn't have the same allure and draw that it used to.
Yeah, and I was going back and forth with a guy on a comment thread on one of our reels from last week about the new format and just about how, like, as a fan taking in the product on TV, you can't really admire the home runs that these guys are hitting because it's a split screen,
right.
and you're seeing them just take 3 swings every 5 seconds, and you can't enjoy watching the ball leave the ballpark at 120 miles an hour traveling 475 feet. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see how far these guys can hit the ball. I don't want to see how fast they can hit them. Now, I get the fact that they don't want a 7-hour derby. I completely
understood.
Get that. But I feel like it takes away from what the home run is, unless you're there live to see it. Like on TV, it's just not the same watching these speed rounds. You can't enjoy the home run like you're supposed to. That would be like the NBA doing the slam dunk contest on both ends of the floor at the same time. Like, no.
You know a guy who would be sneaky fun to watch? Anthony Santander. Like, he has
in the derby.
Oh yeah, he has like big power, like big light tower power.
Yeah,
he'd be a fun guy to just watch unleash.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, maybe.
Yeah, so like, let's look at this real quick. So your home run leaders: Judge not in it, Ohtani not in it, Henderson in it, Ozuna in it, Jose Ramirez not in it, Santander not in it, Walker not in it, Devers not in it, Josh Naylor not in it, Juan Soto not in it, Bryce Harper not in it. Like your top 11 or 12 guys, 2 of them are in it.
Yeah.
Like, and you go down a little bit further, you got guys like Kyle Tucker, Brent Rooker, like Nolan Gorman. None of these guys are like waving their hand. Teoscar Hernandez, Jordan Alvarez. None of these guys are like waving their hand saying, sign me up.
I think it's a lot of things.
Well, it is a lot of things. It's the wear and tear it puts on you. It's, if you're in a pennant race, you want to go screw yourself up. These guys say they get into bad habits all the time. And then I go back to, if you go out there and don't do well, like Adolis Garcia didn't, it's kind of a rough situation for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
I get it.
I
get it.
I think it is the format. Like, it really jacks up these guys' swings for, a while. You see some slow starts out of the All-Star break with these guys that are in the Derby.
I would love to have MLB. Maybe they have. I'd love to have them actually poll the players. What format would you be more likely to play in? Let's just go back to the old 10-out format. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, that worked. You could take a breather for a second if you needed to. You weren't pumping pitches in there as fast as you possibly could. And those home run derbies back in the 90s and early 2000s were some of the best ever.
Yeah. I mean, the timed ones have been close and entertaining too. Like, don't get me wrong. They have.
No, they're not bad.
You just can't enjoy the home run like you used to. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. Well, speaking of enjoying home runs, I have been watching the Diamondbacks for the last week and watching Christian Walker absolutely destroy Dodger Stadium. 7 home runs in a 5-game span. I believe he has homered in every single game against the Dodgers this year. Mm-hmm. He just owns that franchise right now. It was so bad when I was watching the series. He almost seemed embarrassed rounding the bases after his home runs. Like head down, like the look on his face almost looked like he was embarrassed that he did it again. Like it was out of control.
Oops, he did it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
he's
it's a song
special,
or
man.
something.
He's impressive. He's impressive.
And when he's
Absolutely
locked in,
not.
though, like he gets locked in like nobody else. Like he'll go ice cold for a while, but like when he is locked in, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, it was like there was one. I think he hit his second home run in the second game, and the camera pans to Dave Roberts, and he's sitting there just like scratching his head, like, why are we even pitching to this guy right now?
That's like when Raffy Devers hit the second one last night. They panned to Boone. He's just like sitting there, no look on his face, just like looking at the bleachers, like, really? And it was it a few weeks ago that John Boy was talking to him, like, who's the one player that you like are most worried about? He's like, Devers. His immediate reaction was Devers.
Yeah,
that's the one player that always hurts me. And he just, I mean, Raffy Devers owns the Bronx, like Christian Walker owns LA. Like for whatever reason, those guys go there and they just light it up.
Yeah, as long as they don't go there in those uniforms, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm okay with it. So. Speaking of another crazy hot hitters, we got a couple coming up. Jose Miranda last week was 12 for 12 at one point.
Yeah, is that good? Like is 12 for 12 good?
It's all right. 12 hits, 12 at bats, ties an MLB record. He flew out in his 13th at bat, but I mean, that's nuts. He had 14 hits last week. Obviously, was the player of the week, but
flew out. Couldn't get 13 in a row. Come on, man.
It's a bomb. What a
well, that was like, you remember that weekend last year when like J-Rod, like all of a sudden it was like August, like that turned his whole season around in like 4 days.
Like 17 for 19, wasn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, he had a bunch of bombs in it too. It wasn't just singles.
Like turned his whole season around like in a long weekend. I mean, like, and Miranda, like that 12 for 12, that completely changes the direction of your season.
That's got to look bigger than a beach ball at that point.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're going 12 for 12, dude. It's just like, here, just put the tee out at home plate. Let me get myself out.
Imagine the confidence going to the dish. You're like, I know they're not getting me out. Like, I've had 9 hits in a row, 8 hits in a row. Like,
crazy.
That's got to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah. And then also, I hate to give the Dodgers credit here, but Will Smith homered in 4 straight at bats. I mean, that's also insane.
And not a single one of them was a cheapie.
No.
They were all crushed.
I'm a huge Will Smith guy. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball for the past like 3 years, 4 years.
He is.
Like, you don't hear about Will Smith. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because he doesn't have like a fun name to say or he's not like flat. I don't know.
It's because he smacked Chris Rock, man.
But behind
he's not getting jiggy with it.
Behind the dish, he's incredible. At the plate, he's incredible. Yeah. Like he's just a really, really good baseball player.
Yeah, I agree. And an impressive lineup too. I mean,
yeah.
It's just...
And it's funny because like he's a guy I feel like that kind of gets forgotten because he's always been around much bigger headline type players. And you said it for years, Sean. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like he's fine. And you've just continued to beat the drum. Like, but every time I look up, like his numbers are stupid, and he's in the middle of a pennant race. It's like, all right, maybe Sean's right after all. Maybe this guy is that good. Because he's always been like the second or third fiddle everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. I hear about Will Smith a lot as an Angels fan. Yeah. Right next door.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be nice if the Angels signed players like that?
Mm-hmm.
Are the Angels still an MLB franchise?
Yeah. Hey Jay, what do you think about Art Moreno while we're on the topic? Well, we'll move on, but go ahead and leave us a comment. What do you think about Artie Moreno as an Angels fan? Like, do you like him? Do you hate him? Where are you at with him?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well,
I'd love to actually hear an Angels fan's perspective on Artie Moreno.
Absolutely. All right. Brian Reynolds and Rowdy Tellez in that absolute Pirates shellacking of the Mets last year. I think it was like 19-2 or something like that. They're the first teammates to hit multiple homers in the same game, with one of them being a grand slam.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. I had that game on. None of the home runs were cheap. All of them were just absolutely mushed. Mets were up at one point in that game 3-2, which is like hilarious. But yeah, dude, it was crazy. And it was just, you talk about Miranda was like, he was 12 for 12, 14 hits in the week, the ball that must look like bigger than a beach ball, right? I would say that day for the Pirates, that whole lineup, it was just soft toss. It was just soft toss. Like everything was middle. These guys weren't missing. They weren't fouling it off. They weren't mishitting. They weren't, fouling it back to the backstop. Like they were just squaring everything up. Like it was just one of those. It was just one of those. And those, particularly to Reynolds and Tellez, man, that was impressive.
Rowdy Tellez makes incredibly like angry, loud contact.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he gets one, like it's not hit a little bit. Like it's a bomb.
Yeah. So to go back,
we got our answer from Jay.
Yeah.
Sell the team in all caps. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're thinking the same thing. I commented back to Jay that I liked Artie Moreno when he bought the team because he did a lot of good things for Anaheim, but he hasn't continued to do the things he said he would do. And that's where they are, where they're at.
I mean, but in the same breath, you signed Mike Trout for what, 10 and 400.
Yeah.
And the guy can't stay on the field. So you signed your centerpiece, your franchise centerpiece, your arguably MLB centerpiece.
He was on pace to be the best player to ever live. Like,
right. Well, and he can't stay on the field. So why would you bother to keep bringing talent in if your guy that you're building your team around isn't around?
Well, but he even did continue to bring talent.
Yeah,
look at the money he spent for Shohei
and Rendon,
and then Rendon. I mean, and that's just like he did.
That's fair.
He did try to bring talent in.
He did, and it didn't work.
I think the hard thing with baseball, if you want to be like a franchise that is going to be in the conversation for decades, like it's spending money to bring players in, but you have to be able to
develop
role players and develop players in your minor league system. You just have to, because it's not sustainable to just buy the good players. Like,
right.
Every 4 or 5 years, we're going to like spend a little bit more than we normally do. And we're going to bring in that extra talented player. Like you can't sustain it on that. Like you have to be able to bring young players up and develop them. And then they are the young studs. They are the Jaron Durants. I mean, not that the Red Sox are a juggernaut, but that's the point, right? Like it's a young guy that you bring in and you develop, and that is and then you supplement them with, the 1 or 2 Rendones or Trouts or
go back to those early 2000 teams, that World Series winning Angels team. How many of those were homegrown? Almost all of them, right?
Quite a few,
pretty much, yeah.
Well, and you look at the
Angels and you probably had the most underrated manager in baseball at that time too, with Mike Scioscia.
Mike Scioscia is one of my favorite managers ever. I loved him.
He never gets talked about when it comes to the great managers of that era, and it's a shame that he doesn't, because he one of the best of all time.
Yeah. But like you look at the Angels now, like they do have a decent young core, Moniak, and you got Renifo, who's hurt unfortunately, and Ohapi. Like they've got some young players that are coming through. They just
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Leto, but like pitching wise, they're still trying to find it. Like,
yeah.
And then when you're cornerstone player and Trout can't get on the field, and then your other high end guy Rendon also can't get on the field.
And Patrick Sandoval went down with UCL.
That's right. You lost Sandoval. Like it's not been an easy run for them. Yeah. John, you're right. Those 0-2 Angels, that was a fun team to watch.
Garrett Anderson,
Troy Glass. Like they did a little bit of everything. Yeah. Darren Erstad, who's a hitting machine.
Erstad, yeah. Salmon.
Yep. Like that was a good team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still never forget that home run that Bonds hit in Anaheim that like almost hit the back wall in right field.
And wasn't it like,
and it looked like he just swatted at it.
Yeah, and wasn't it like Tim Salmon be like, "That's the furthest ball I've ever seen hit ever."
Yeah. He never moved. He didn't even move.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Unreal.
It was absolutely nuts. But
no, that was a fun team.
Yeah. And then to round out the crazy things that happened last week, the 3-homer game doesn't really shock me here, but being the first Yankee rookie to ever hit 3 home runs in a game kind of like shocked me a little bit. Like,
yeah, I mean, you'd think how many great rookies they've had. I mean, you'd think that one of them would have run into it. I hear you.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I think this kid's here to stay. This kid's pretty good. Looks really solid at the plate. Has great at bats. Has a great
Massachusetts
swing.
Boy.
Where from Massachusetts or
Cohasset? Yeah, and he went to Dartmouth.
I don't know what you just said, but
he's a brain.
Yeah,
went to Dartmouth. Yeah, I don't know. Like it might have just been it might have just been like born in Cohasset and then raised somewhere else. I can look it up, but
Gotcha. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy to be the first Yankee rookie to ever hit 3 homers in a game. I mean, like you said before we got on Harrison, there's been a few decent rookie Yankees, and
they produced a few pretty good rookies over the years.
Yeah.
Oh no, he grew up in Cohasset. He went to high school in Dedham, which is like the next town over from where I grew up. No kidding.
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, played baseball at Dartmouth, and they said I was watching. It was the 3-homer game. They were saying on the broadcast he went to, who I didn't know who else went to Dartmouth, and they mentioned was Brad Osmus.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah, because he's on the coaching staff for the Yankees. I don't know what his official position is, but they had like Ben Rice at the plate, and they were talking about him going to Dartmouth. And they were like, "Oh, another Dartmouth boy, Osmus," and then the camera panned over to him. Huh. And he was when I almost like forget that like he's like a person. And then like he gets brought up and you're like, he was pretty damn good. Like,
yeah, he was a solid player.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He's not like I'm not like beating the door down to get him in the Hall of Fame, but he was like a pretty solid, he was a good player.
Well, and wasn't he on those Astros teams for all those years they were good?
Say again?
Was he on those Astros teams for all those years they were good with the Killer Bees? Was Osmus on those teams or no?
Yeah. So he was because he also caught when the NLCS when they lost. It was like end of Clemens' career and end of Pettit's career when they pitched together in Houston. Osmus was behind the dish for that.
He was in Houston he was there for 97, 98, and then came back from 01 to 08.
Yeah, okay.
3 Gold Gloves in that span.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, Dartmouth boy, Brad Osmus.
Yeah, he was a good player and a really good coach.
Yeah, I thought he was like in Detroit to stay for a long time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I thought it was like, okay, they found their guy. Like he's going to be in Detroit for a long time.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a break here and do some MLB trivia. If you are watching and you can help these guys out, throw it in the chat if you got the answer. But here we go.
Can I just make a quick statement going back to John's thing about Bonds and that World Series?
Yeah, let's go.
That was Bond's only World Series appearance in his career. All the MVPs, all the awards, he made 1 World Series appearance and lost in 2002.
Wow.
Like that's still mind-boggling. He only made it once. That's one time. 1 shot. As good as he was, he got 1 shot at the crown.
That's baseball for you.
Sure is. That's brutal.
That's baseball. So, all right, here we go. We're going to start off with some MLB blurred trivia. So here we go. Oh, it's not blurred. It's just picture trivia. Sorry. So who is this?
Is that supposed to be like Stan Lee in the bottom right?
Yep.
Yeah. So is it Finley? So is it?
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be Steve Carell or is it supposed to be Michael Scott?
It's Steve Carell. So it's Steve Finley.
So Steve Finley.
Yeah. All right. Next one.
I can't see these.
Is that Des Bryant, bottom right?
Yep.
Okay.
Who's the bottom middle there?
It's a grandma or another name for it.
No.
So put the first picture and the last picture together. And you'll get the middle.
I mean, it's Sid. That's the sloth. So the first name is Sid. Oh, Fernandez?
Yep. You got the bottom?
Yeah, Sid Fernandez.
Oh, sorry. We have thunderstorms rolling through, so my internet's going in and out. So
you froze for a second.
Yeah, we have thunderstorms rolling through, so it's been gnarly here the last 3 days. So yeah,
gotcha.
Sid Fernandez. All right, next one.
Tucker Barnhart.
Yes, good. He just got DFA'd by the Diamondbacks, though. It stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Yikes.
Yeah. Because they just had their backup catcher come back from injury. So, who is this?
Mickey Mantle.
Yep.
Oh,
Mickey
duh,
Mantle.
man. I'm like, Mickey what?
Yep. Mickey
Duh.
Mantle. Good. Next one. So we got who in the first picture?
Ed Sheeran.
Yep. What is this guy in the middle? He's a Royal
Guard.
Oh, guard.
guard.
Oh, Edgardo Alfonso.
Yes, Edgardo Alfonso.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's Alfonso Ribeiro, right? I'm thinking Carlton or
Yeah,
Yeah.
so was I. That
Yeah.
took me a second
that's, right,
too.
that's his name. Yeah, he's actually got a name other than Carlton Banks.
Are you
And-
sure? I don't
Nice,
know.
nice job, John. John got it in the chat.
Nice. Yeah, Edgardo Alfonso. All right, next one.
Jose Batista.
Yep.
So I couldn't think of the
Jose
wrestler's
Bautista.
name. Like, well, I don't know his name, but it's Jose.
And this is the best picture of all time. Coldest picture ever.
The best bat flip ever. That like started bat flip. That like made bat flips cool.
My favorite Christmas shirt is this, and it says "Merry Flippin' Christmas."
Yeah.
It's my favorite shirt. All right. This one's a thinker.
What the?
So we've had this last name before. This guy is where,
Driving
but more broadly, he is in.
a car.
Yeah. And this is another name for a country.
Oh,
Also-
Encarnacion.
Yeah. So then what's the first name?
I don't know.
It's Ed Helms.
Is Edwin Encarnacion.
Yes, Edwin Encarnacion with his parrot.
Yeah. Parrot.
Yeah. Remember he used to do that? He would
Yeah,
run the
always
bases.
arm out.
Yeah. So Edwin Encarnacion. Okay, next one.
Is that D Brown?
Yep. This guy was also the answer to one of our.
Oh, is it D
trivia
Strange
questions.
Gordon?
It is D Strange
Yep.
Gordon. Yeah, good. And the next one. So this guy's from Ted Lasso. His character name.
Yeah, I've never
I-
seen Ted
I-
Lasso.
The character
know.
name?
Yep.
I used to be able to like make this bigger so that like I can see the pictures, but for some reason it's not cooperating. So like I can't see shit right now.
My bad.
Like I no, it's not your no, it's no one's bad. I just don't like I can barely see.
All right. So this is Roy
So
Kent.
Roy Kent, yeah.
Yep.
And then is it a Yankees executive?
Yep. Or owner.
Oh, Steinbrenner?
Hal.
Yep.
Oh, which Steinbrenner is that? It's not. Is that Hal? That Hal is the older, uglier one.
It's Hal. And then take out
Oh, is it
the
Halliday?
Yes, it's Roy Halladay. Whew, that one was painful.
Oh,
Yeah, Roy Halladay.
I'm like, what? One a day? What am I doing with this?
Yep. How about this one?
Trumbo?
Yeah, Mark Trumbo. Good. Like this. Kind of bounced around in his career.
Melky Cabrera.
Yes, Melky Cabrera. Good. Yep. Nice. How about this one? So it's what they're doing in this top picture. They're putting water in the bucket. Also, you are.
Filling it.
Yep.
Bill Plantier?
Phil Plantier, good.
I used to love
Nice.
that. The worst crouching batting stance ever.
Yeah, this wasn't even like as low as he used to get. He used to get
No.
even lower than that. It was crazy.
Oh,
I think this is the last one I got.
what? Oh, Bernie Williams.
Bernie Williams.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Bernie
duh.
Williams.
Okay.
I was like overthinking that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was with you. I'm like, this
Yeah.
this can't be that simple.
Yeah, Bernie Williams. Oh, sorry, one more. Last one.
Mark Bellhorn.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
easy one. Layup. Mark Bellhorn.
Gee, thanks, Nick. Thanks for always keeping us grounded.
You always get the easy ones. All right. Here we go. MLB trivia. Got a
What a
few
jerk.
of these ones. Yeah.
No respect.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. All right. Who was the last rookie pitcher to strike out 200 plus batters?
Oh. Last rookie.
Yep. Remember, my background in font
Tim Lincecum.
always. Nope.
Oh,
More
good
recent
guess,
than
though.
that.
It's gonna be Skeens, but
Yeah, it's gonna be.
DeGrom.
Nope. Right team. More recent than DeGrom.
so Rangers were the right team.
No.
No, the
He
Mets.
was-
Oh, you
Mets.
go back to the Mets. Because that doesn't seem like Rangers colors to me. Oh, is it Harvey or
Nope. More recent than
no,
that.
he was
Like
he was-
just like last year.
Oh, geez.
He's like out right now, but should be the ace of that staff.
Oh, you threw me off here. Now I gotta think like current, like active Mets team right now.
They thought he was gonna come back this year, but it looks like he might not. He has a devastating off
I don't know.
speed pitch.
Hit me.
It's Kodai Senga,
Oh my
Senga,
goodness.
Yeah.
the ghost.
I don't think
form.
of him. I don't think of him as a rookie because he's like a
I know,
billion years
and I-
old. It's
Yeah.
like he doesn't even enter my brain as a rookie. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yep. Kodai Senga. All right. Next one. Who led the MLB in errors in 2023?
Was it the Sox?
Nope. He's a current All-Star now.
Trey Turner?
Oh, you're asking which player?
Trey Turner. Yeah. Oh yeah. Which player? I should have. My bad.
Yeah, Turner had a rough season last year all around.
Yeah. 23 errors for Trey Turner last year. Yeah. I should have worded that which player. My bad.
Which 23 errors for a shortstop like isn't horrendous given the amount of chances they get, but
Yeah.
It's still
It's
pretty
not-
freaking bad.
it's
dude.
not good.
it's
Right.
not good. Yeah.
It's not good, but
No. All right. Next one. Who had the highest single season strikeout rate with a minimum of 200 innings pitched?
like you're talking K per 9.
Yes. Actually, I think it's a percentage of
Oh, okay.
batters. But I mean, either way, he led in K per nines that year too because he was ridiculous.
Was
it
it
was
Edwin
with-
Diaz?
Nope. He was a starter for the Astros at that point, 2019. Plays for the Yankees now.
Cole.
Yeah. 39.9% in 2019.
That's such a high. I was going to go Verlander, but 39.9. Holy cow.
It's insane. All right. Who was the last pitcher to throw a no-hitter in their first major league start? I think we talked about this a little bit last week when we got off the show.
Gallon?
Nope.
Merrill Kelly?
Nope. He was like a one and done. Like he threw a no-hitter and then didn't record a major league win after that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
I think it was 2021.
Oh, wow.
This is Tyler Gilbert.
Mm.
Oh,
2021. He threw a no-hitter and then didn't record another a win the next season.
what
at all.
happened? Like,
Flash in the pan.
What?
Gone.
wow.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. Who threw the last 26 batter perfect game that was spoiled by the 27th batter?
Scherzer.
Yeah, it is
Was it
Scherzer.
Tabata
Easy
getting
one.
hit by the pitch?
Yeah, he didn't get hit by it. He leaned into it.
Yeah, sorry, he leaned into it, stuck his elbow because it was a strike. Like the pitch he threw
Yeah.
was a strike. It was in the K zone.
If Scherzer could have gotten away with murdering someone, he would have slit his
And
throat in that
justifiable homicide, if you ask me.
moment. Absolutely. I would have thrown it out in court.
Justifiable homicide. You could also argue that maybe Armando Galarraga falls into this category too,
Oh, yeah, absolutely nuts.
of getting robbed.
Yeah. Okay. Who was the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter in 4 consecutive seasons?
Nolan?
Nope, before him.
4 consecutive seasons of at least one
That's
no-hitter.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like how far before him?
Not too far if you're thinking of Nolan Ryan's rookie year being 66.
66.
But,
yeah, right.
He only
So,
pitched for 37 years.
but I mean, a guy that career cut short, Hall of Famer.
Sandy?
Yeah, it is. It's Sandy Kofax.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 62 to
Jeez.
65.
That's
In-
crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
I'm just going to throw an annual no-hitter. Don't worry about it, guys. I got this.
Yeah. All right. Which pitcher has the longest stretch of time between no hitters?
Oh.
This is a thinker too.
Wasn't Randy, was it?
It was Randy Johnson. Good. 13 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks.
13
Wow.
years.
Because he threw that perfect game. Was it against the Braves? I think
Against
when he
the
was
Braves,
like
yeah.
40.
Yeah.
May
Yeah.
18th.
Yeah, crazy.
How the hell do you remember the date?
It was the day after my birthday.
I was
It was,
like,
it was like Pat. My
What?
brother and I were like, he threw
Yeah.
it for our birthday. He threw a perfect
Okay.
game for us for
I
our
was
birthday.
like,
It was the day after our birthday.
randomly whips that out.
I was just like, yeah, sure. Okay, May
I mean,
18th.
Yeah, you're
All
either
right.
you're either dead right and that's ridiculous, or you're just throwing a number out there hoping we just go, sure, whatever.
Nuts. All right.
Oh,
Who
I
was
like to
the
double check. I'm
player?
pretty sure it was May 18th. Now I got to double check. Go ahead.
I think you're
Well,
right. It
just-
sounds right.
stay in Rain Man status. Don't check yourself.
Yeah, right. All right.
This is like
Who-
a presidential debate, Sean. There's no fact checking.
I was right. May 18th. Yeah.
Crazy.
Go ahead.
All right. Who was the last player to reach 3,000 hits as a part of a 5-hit day?
Wow. Recent? Like, is this in like
Has this only been done once?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
As like a 5-hit day to reach 3,000 in that 5-hit day, it's only been done
Right.
once.
Okay. Well, I just because you said when you read it, you said the last, but it doesn't say last up here, so I wasn't sure.
It doesn't. Sorry. Well, I mean,
No, it's
I
fine.
guess he would be the last player if
So
he's the only player.
like I said, I wasn't sure.
We got a
if it
guest
had
of
happened
Tony
all.
Gwynn in the chat.
Nope, not Tony Gwynn. That's a
This
great
is modern
guess.
though, right? It
Yeah, it's modern era.
wasn't Boggs, was it?
Nope. You're around that right time period.
Who else got 3,000 hits in that window of time?
He's one of Sean's favorite guys that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but is for his longevity.
Biggio.
Oh,
pretty much.
McGriff.
No, it's Biggio.
Oh, Biggio. Oh,
Biggio.
Biggio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, fair.
Craig Biggio. Yeah. All right. And the last one I got 2 more. Sorry. Who was the last catcher to hit for the cycle?
Jason Kendall.
Nope.
Oh,
Happened
great
one-
poll with Jason Kendall.
I love
There
Jason.
you go.
I love me some Jason Kendall.
Yeah. He just did it last year
Oh,
against my Diamondbacks.
Was it Sean Murphy?
Nope.
Darno, the other good hitting catcher.
Nope. Remember the
Like,
background.
right. So is it a red?
Nope. Not a
Yeah, what
red.
color is that supposed to be?
Phillies.
Maroon Phillies, yeah.
So JT.
It is. It's
Oh,
JT
that's right. I remember the
Realmuto.
game too.
Yep, JT Realmuto. And then the last one I got. Who has the lowest ERA for a 300 game winner? 2.13.
And that's a career ERA.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a low
Someone has a
ERA.
career ERA of 2.13. Jesus Christ.
And I'll give you the hint. This is a original HOF member.
Oh
Class.
boy.
Walter.
You have a choice. Nope. I said you had a 50-50 chance. Who's the other pitcher there?
Was it Cy Young?
Nope.
No. It's
Who else went with the first class?
Ruth, Cobb, Wagner, Johnson,
Walter and
Oh my God.
God damn it, Sean.
Anybody in the chat know this one?
Who was the other member?
It is
Hit me. Christy Matthews.
Christy
God damn it, Sean. That's right. Christy Matthews.
Yeah.
Yep, Christy Mathewson.
Yikes.
Yep. So there you go.
Oh, Christy. You know, Christy
Satchel
Matthews.
Paige, good dress, but no.
Yeah, Christy Mathewson kind of gets like forgotten about in that era of time because there were so many.
A 2.13 career ERA. I don't care what era of baseball you're in.
No.
That's nuts. I mean, I know he was pitching a sock back then, but it's still impressive.
They were throwing bottle caps to guys swinging tree branches.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
That's wild.
So I'm excited for this next segment. This next segment is going to be incredible. Sean threw out this idea to us, and he wanted us to come up with an all-time team of players that's first name started with a J, but the caveat was it had to be 2000 to current. So, after the
and they just had to have played. So like they could be largely like most of their career in the 90s, but like they hung on a little bit, played a couple games in 2000. Like that would still qualify that particular individual.
Okay,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. So let's start at. We'll just go position by position. So we'll start right behind the dish. Let's start right off the top. Sean, who are you taking? First name J behind the dish.
First name J. So catcher, I got to tell you, man, going through, it was harder than I anticipated with a few positions because I think Joe Mauer's a great one. Yep. Joe Mauer is a stud, right? Joe Mauer. But like I was talking myself into JT Realmuto. And then Jason Varitek is also on the list, who's like, I love Jason Varitek growing up, but like I don't necessarily quite think that like the peak Jason Varitek is like up there with like peak Joe Mauer or peak JT. I think if I had to settle for one, I would say probably Joe Mauer, but like with a caveat, but Joe Mauer.
Yeah, so I also went with Joe Mauer, and I debated between Joe Mauer, Jorge Posada, and Javi Lopez.
And that's Diego. Yeah,
because so, like, those are all three guys that were.
Catcher had quite a few.
It was a good kind of range for catchers. Those early 2000s.
Yeah,
was a great time for catchers. There were a bunch of good catchers in that window.
My favorite baseball player of all time. I'm going with him. It's Jason Varitek.
Josh Gibson.
For me.
Oh wait, wrong era.
yeah, 1920s maybe, but it's Jason Varitek. He caught 4 no-hitters. He would get hot with a bat. You couldn't get him out in stretches. Switch hitter. I listen. I get Joe Mauer. He's a Hall of Famer, but Jason Varitek playing in the Little League, college, and the actual World Series. I have Jason Varitek, complete homer pick there, but it's Jason Varitek for me there.
Hard to argue.
Yeah. All right, first base. I'm taking the reins on this one because there was a lot. I juggled between a couple, but I settled on Jim Thome.
Jim Thome's a great one.
Yeah.
Jim Thome's a great one.
Probably one of the best first basemen you could pick from that era. Probably the best. I took my boy Joey Votto. I want me some Joey Votto on my baseball team.
That's a great one.
So I'm going to go back-to-back Twins. I'm going to take Justin Morneau at first base.
Nice.
And it's, a guy that, like, with Joe Mauer, those Twins teams is Joe Mauer, it was Torrey Hunter. Like, Justin Morneau kind of just, like, snuck in there. Like, you knew he was good. He was, like, every day showed up in the middle of the lineup. But I don't think he gets, like, the credit on how good he truly was. And
what an MVP award.
And how important he was to those Twins teams. So I'm going to take Justin Morneau at first base.
I like it.
Like I asked Sean in the chat, I was like, do I get double points if their first and last name starts with J? So I was like John Jaso and Jock Jones. I'll take Jock Jones for center. He's a twin, counts.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
But
you can make yourself an all twins team at this rate.
yeah, right. All right, second base. Who we taking?
All right, I'll go first. I took Jose Altuve.
Boo.
I know. But
With the trash can or without?
obviously with, but
Okay, fair.
I
Okay.
mean, like you wouldn't take a guy who was cheating and knew what pitches were coming.
It's facts. I would.
Yeah,
Making me win.
I took Altuve.
Okay, it's fair.
Yeah, I think Altuve's a really good one. Jeff Kent is also on there. I know Nick had, when we were throwing names around the other day, Jeff Kent is a really good one. With the understanding that I'm going to go back and revise this a little bit, fine tune this, I'm going to take Altuve right now because I got to tell you, I didn't have him on my original list, and once Harrison just mentioned him, it's kind of I can't get him out of my head. So I'm going to take Altuve now, but fine tune it. We're gonna clean this thing up, and that is probably going to be scheduled to change in a little bit here.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm taking Jeff Kent. Only
Yeah, it's a good
MLB second baseman to record 6 straight 100 RBI seasons. He was there day in, day out. It's Jeff Kent for me. I don't think it's even close, to be honest. I mean, it's close. It's up for discussion. Altuve's getting there. Altuve's getting
Jeff
there,
Kent
but-
is in a league of his own. And I will say, full disclosure, I made it my mission to not have any duplicates with Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there will be no duplicates here. I wanted
Yeah.
my own original team.
Yeah. Okay. Shortstop.
This one hurt because I wanted J Roll, but
Yeah.
I took Jose Reyes, who I think was really, really fun to watch in that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you got, Sean?
Yeah, so I had when you had sent yours and had Jimmy Rollins, this was my number one, like
You're
I
1-1.
disagree. And
disagree.
this was my 1-1, like this is what I disagree with, and it's because I actually don't think it's close. I think it's Jose Reyes at short over Jimmy Rollins by a margin. I know that's not a
Okay.
popular. I understand that's.
Okay.
I get it.
All right.
But like I think it's. I would take, if you give me that pick 100 times, 100 times I'm taking Jose Reyes.
Well, and I think if you go peak Jose Reyes versus peak Jimmy Rollins, I think that's the argument. If you look at overall Jose Reyes versus overall Jimmy
Sure.
Rollins, then Jimmy
You're-
Rollins wins that one.
Probably. He did have a more sustained, like
Yes.
the career lasted longer, and
Yeah.
and he was towards the end of his career still was a more meaningful player.
Yes.
But if we're talking like, all time, like at their best, I don't know if there is a shortstop in baseball, let alone first name starts with J. I don't know if there was one in that time frame that was better than Jose Reyes.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch mine and get my double points and say JJ Hardy.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's Jimmy Rollins for sure. I think I loved Jose Reyes. I saw him live a few times. I loved
So did I.
his range at shortstop. It was crazy. I saw him make a play in the hole in Colorado that not many shortstops would make. And no, not even Derek Jeter would have made that play. He just had an absolute cannon on his right arm.
Unless you put
along
some
with a
stands there, then Jeter would have made the play and dove into the stands for the little extra flair.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. The third base, I don't even think this one's remotely close to be
It's
any.
not.
And
It's not.
we probably all have the same one. Unless
Yeah,
you came up.
Oh no,
you
I've
said-
got somebody different. I have somebody different.
Who do you
you
got,
got?
Harrison? I couldn't think of a second one.
Give me MVP season Josh Donaldson.
Oh,
All right, yeah. Okay.
But literally, like the only other third baseman I could come up with that was even worth talking about.
I couldn't think of another J at third, to be completely honest. But
yeah, that's right. Josh Donaldson would work. You're right.
I mean,
Yeah.
at his peak, Donaldson was, granted, the dude is like mentally unstable, but like he had that 3 or 4 year window where he was a terror on the baseball field.
Yeah. I don't think I actually said his name, but Jose Ramirez.
Yeah,
It's
J-Ram.
It's J-Ram
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's J-Ram.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
in the last 20 years, like that is definitely your best third baseman.
Yeah.
With a J.
And if you're listening to the show and you have another name that you're like think
throw
like shout it at us,
Yeah,
because
please.
I'm sure we're missing some guys here. So all right, left field. I am taking a guy that played maybe 20 games in 2000,
That's okay.
which qualifies.
That qualifies.
I'm taking 109 RBIs before the All-Star break. Juan Gonzalez. That's who I'm taking in left field right there.
I mean,
Juan.
he was an RBI machine.
Yeah, for that first half, anyways.
Yeah, right.
Who do you guys got?
Go ahead, Harrison.
So I'm going with a guy who didn't play a lot of outfield, but did play the outfield in JD Martinez.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to steal that one.
Okay.
Sean,
I like that.
You can have JD.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it works.
It does. He played the outfield in Detroit.
He's been out there every now and again.
Yep.
Yeah. Who was your original left fielder?
I like I said, I approached this differently than you guys. I didn't come up with like, this is my team. I just had a bunch of names, and I thought that we would come on the show and just kind of hammer them out and come up with like a rounding third team. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of approach it a little bit differently.
It's all right. We'll go back through and narrow it down.
You know, one name I almost put in place was Jermaine Dye.
Yeah, so Jermaine Dye, I had him listed as I had him on the list of center fielders though, or was he? Do you have him as a left fielder?
I think he went around. I think he kind of moved around.
He played all three.
I had him more as. Center,
I take
that is a good one.
I take it more like outfield versus position by position because so many of these guys move around.
Like AllStar, yeah. Right.
That's fair. All right, center field.
Center field, there was a few. Jermaine Dye being one. I mean, Johnny Damon you could have in there.
Johnny Damon is who I have. I have
Jim Edmonds you could have in there.
I mean, but Jim Edmonds is like, I feel like he's like so far and away the best center fielder of that era with a J.
Yeah,
probably
like total package.
Yeah.
I also have. I used to run base like Juan Pierre.
Oh, Juan Pierre.
So that's another.
Juan Pierre was like Juan Pierre. If we were building a roster, not just like starting lineup, Juan Pierre's there just because like he could wreak havoc on the base pass.
Oh my goodness, he was so
for
fast.
Defensive replacement. He's not like you don't want him starting for you every day.
He had 3 or 4 seasons of 200 hits.
I know. Jim Edmonds is the right answer here.
I mean, you're not wrong, John. Jim Edmonds is so far and away the best center fielder.
It's the right answer.
Like of that era, it's Jim Edmonds all day.
Yeah,
I took Johnny Damon as my consolation prize because I was not going to duplicate Nick. Although Damon's career is not anything to sneeze at either.
No, I agree. And then right field here.
Oh, JD Drew, easiest one of the bunch.
Joey Bats.
I'm out. Bye.
Joey Bats.
Just good.
I was tempted to actually put JD Drew in my lineup just to be like, I had him too, Sean. Because I've been like the most anti JD Drew guy on this show.
I can't. I mean, he was a nice player. He was
look at his career, and you look at his career and go, all right, he was a pretty nice little player. Was he your typical corner outfielder with big time power and all that stuff? No, he was an on base machine. Took a lot of walks, drove in a fair number of runs. But he drove you freaking crazy.
Had some pop.
Yeah. And he made a difficult right field at Fenway Park look like a walk in the park. He made right field, and that right field at Fenway makes all-star caliber road players
look ruins
foolish.
Yeah.
Foolish. This guy played, 80 games a year out there.
Yep.
And never seemed to lose a ball like in that kind of Bermuda Triangle there where like the Pesky's pole, and then it like juts out and kind of pinballs around. Never seemed to lose a ball in there. Never got getting up into the corner. Always was on. He made right field look so easy, and that is not an easy right field.
No,
I say it a bit tongue in cheek because it's like he was a nice little player, but that's a hill that I will die on. And I think it's a worthy hill to die on. That JD Drew does not get the credit that he deserves for the type of player he was over the course of his career, because people in Boston were butthurt that they paid him so much money. How is
Yeah.
that his fault? What's he supposed to do? Say, no, I'm not worth that amount of money? The Red Sox offered it. He's going to get it. He was exactly who he was throughout his career in Boston.
Sean,
There was no promises that he made that he didn't follow through on. This is exactly the type of player he was. It's not his fault that the Red Sox paid him $1 bajillion.
Sean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the Red Sox would not have had nearly the same success they had without him, because he was
100%.
a fantastic complementary piece to everything else they had. Although he drove me crazy, he was like the best complementary piece that they could have to round that all off.
And I think it was the perfect time and the perfect team to bring him in, because he wasn't exactly a big vocal leader. So you didn't need him to be. Like he could stick to himself and be quiet and kind of like wear no emotions on his sleeves and just,
Dude is a robot.
Take three fastballs down the middle with the bases loaded, not take the bat off his shoulder, and then walk to the dugout like he didn't care. And like people would get mad at that. It's like, but that's who he is.
I'm people.
I know, but like, that's who he is. Like that's who he is. It's not like you. It's who he is. It's not that he doesn't care. I'm sure he cares.
He'd get a 2-0 fastball down the middle and he wouldn't even blink at it.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, swing the bat. And then he'd work a walk in that at bat. And you're like, you should have put that ball in the seats, man.
Yeah. I hear you. No, listen.
And he would flip his bat and do a little trot to first base like he was the happiest guy on the planet. And that used to drive me freaking crazy.
Yeah. I will admit that there were parts of his game that would frustrate me, but on the whole, I think he was a very, very good baseball player. That was a good baseball player for every team that he played on.
Yes. Well, to be clear, when you say he drove people crazy, I am people.
I get it.
I am juggling between two. I'm going, I think, with Jose Canseco. Just because I can.
Just because of the bombs.
And Joey Bats would be my other one.
That's who I had. Joey Bats all the way.
Yeah. Batista's a beast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With an absolute cannon for an arm, too.
Yes, he had a cannon.
Oh.
And he's been known to flip a bat or two.
Yeah. We hear.
Yeah. All right. This is where it could get interesting here. Who is your starting pitcher?
What do we do? DH.
Oh, DH. Sorry, I forgot.
Jeez.
My DH is Joey Votto. So Harrison took him at first base, but I'm taking him as my DH.
My DH, Jason Giambi.
Very good. Okay. I had Giambi. I'll go Jeff Bagwell at DH.
Oh, I really wanted to put Jeff Bagwell in the lineup somewhere. I couldn't find a spot for him.
Yeah, I'll just put him at DH.
Loved Bagwell.
I'll take Jeremy Giambi just because he was safe at home on the Jeter flip play. For all you Yankees fans out there, you're welcome.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yikes.
All right, starting pitcher. Who do you got? There's three that I have a hard time.
I am Jeff Francoeur, honorable mention.
You
want to talk about a guy that had a hose? Jeff Francoeur had a hose.
Yeah, and a good arm.
Wow.
I got John Smoltz. As my starting pitcher.
I got Justin Verlander as my starting pitcher.
Yeah.
And,
do you also have
Nick
John
took
Smoltz
my starting pitcher.
Do you also have John Smoltz as your closer? Because that would be awesome.
I do have Smoltz.
No, but I should do that.
I've got Smoltz as my closer.
I should do that.
Yeah. I had Verlander. He's in my 3, but I'm going Johan Santana.
That was my pick all the way.
One.
I love Johan Santana.
And the one guy that every single baseball fan was robbed of is Jose Fernandez.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we were robbed to see this guy would have been pretty much in the peak of his career right now. Just to see what he would have been able to do. He was so dominant when he came up. It would have been something to see at this point. So we all got robbed of that. But that's who I had. I had Johan Santana, Fernandez, and Justin Verlander as my 3 that I was trying to juggle back. But I'm taking Johan.
Yeah, I wanted to take Johan. You took him, so I took Verlander, which I'm not upset about.
No.
Although Santana is like one of my 3 favorite pitchers ever to watch. Like the changeup was a joke watching him pitch.
Devastating.
It's a joke.
All right. Relief pitcher.
I went Joe Nathan.
Oh, good one.
Joe Nathan.
I loved Joe Nathan. He was so lights out for a while.
That's a great one.
I'm going off vibes for mine, and not even because like he was great, but just like just all-time vibes guy, just John Rocker.
I was hoping somebody would pick him.
Just vibes guy. I mean, he just, you just need a vibe guy in the locker room.
Dude, whenever you need AA batteries, just trot them out to the mound and just pick them up from the field.
Dude, if there was anybody I'm going to get on the 7 train with, it's Rocker for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
That's good to know in a couple of weeks when I'm on the 7 train. So. I have 2. First one's Jeff Nelson.
So good.
Good one.
The second one is a complete homer pick, and I pulled this name. You ready? Justin Masterson.
Oh, I used to love Masterson.
Oh, yeah. I'd be willing to bet most people that know Justin Masterson know him as a Cleveland Indian. Jabba Chamberlain's a great one.
Jabba Chamberlain's a
good one, too.
Jabba Chamberlain's a great one, actually.
Yep. Every time I think of Jabba Chamberlain, I just think of that play out, the bugs all over his neck.
Yeah, the midges in Cleveland all over him.
Bad. So bad.
Dude, he deserves an award. He didn't balk once.
No, there's no way. Could you imagine doing that in the pitch clock era now, having to like rush through that?
Oh.
I remember 2 things. I remember Jabba Chamberlain getting eaten up by the midges in Cleveland. And when Chamberlain came back to Yankee Stadium and drilled Derek Jeter, I remember that clip too.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Jabba Chamberlain's a great one.
He was so good for a while there.
All right. And to close it out, who's your closer?
I debated with going with Jonathan Papelbon and decided against it and went with John Smoltz.
Okay.
Yeah, Papelbon.
Hard to argue.
Yeah, Good.
I'm going John Wetland.
John Wetland's a good one.
That was a good one.
Did he play much into the 2000s?
I don't think it was much.
I'm not challenging your pick. I'm just curious.
Oh, he's getting fact checked.
Let's fact check him. It's not. I was more just curious.
He played in 2000. That was
in 2000. Yeah, he played.
I got a couple of guys right on the cusp.
You got 20 games from Juan Gonzalez, and Nick's living on the margins.
Right. Got to. I also have Jason Isringhausen, honorable mention.
Yeah, who couldn't make it as a starter but became a fantastic reliever.
Yep. And then a current closer right now is Joan Duran.
Yeah.
Or John Duran. I don't know how you pronounce his name. His name's spelt all weird, but yeah.
Whatever.
So, but I'm going Wetland there. But
Wetland had some time.
Yeah. Yeah, setting up Rivera there for a while is crazy.
That's the thing too. Like you kind of forget about the fact that he wasn't a closer for a while because he was the best setup guy in baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
that 8-9 combo was ridiculous.
Lethal. I mean, it was lethal. It was just go home.
Oh yeah. I mean, and the funny part is the Yankees won, what was it, 96, 97, 98?
Yeah.
He was only there for
another good one too.
He was only there for the 96 championship. Then he was in Texas.
JJ Putz.
Oh, JJ Putz. Yeah, he was good.
Double points for John.
There you go, John. Nice job. John might have won this. John
John was sneaky with some great ones.
Yeah.
John might have won this.
All right. So here's our trip. We got to come up with one team between the 3 of us. Who are we putting behind the dish? It's got to be Mauer, right?
It's got to be Mauer. Yeah, it's got to be Mauer.
Yeah.
Okay. First base.
Probably Tomey.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's got to be Tomey. It's.
Okay.
I mean, as good as Votto and Bagwell and all those guys are, Tomey was next level.
More no, but it's got to be Tomey. It's got to be Jim Tomey.
Agreed. Yeah. Second base has to be Jeff Kent. There's no debate.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Kent.
Shortstop has to be Jose Reyes. There's no debate there. So.
All right. I mean, I'll go with 2 out of the 3.
Listen,
I'll go with 2 out of the 3.
I mean, there's really no wrong one between those 2.
No, your team's going to be really good with either of those guys on your lineup. But we'll take Jose Reyes. So.
I mean, Rollins got the MVP in 2007. He's got
overall body
gloves.
Overall body of work, it's Jimmy Rollins. Peak talent, it's Jose Reyes. Pick one.
We'll go with Rollins. We'll go with Jimmy Rollins.
J. Roll
All
it
right.
is.
All right. We'll just take my whole starting lineup then. I get it. I got the best one. All right.
Third base. It's J. Ram.
Yeah,
Has to be.
Ramirez.
Yeah.
Has
Okay.
to be.
And then we'll just do 3 outfield spots. So who are our 3 outfield spots?
Jim Edmonds is obviously one.
Edmonds has to be, yeah.
Joey
Joey Bats is probably the other one. Is another one.
Yeah, probably.
I would
Jim
take
Edmonds, Jose Batista, and
I have Juan Gonzalez, Jason Bay. We didn't mention.
Jason Bay, another one.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna, you'd have to take Juan gone.
Juan gone, I would say.
Okay.
That dude is just an RBI machine.
Yeah. And then our DH.
We had what? Giambi, Bagwell, and
Votto.
Probably Giambi.
I say it's probably
it's probably Giambi.
You could also take anybody else that we didn't pick and put him in that DH spot.
Right.
So you got Justin Morneau.
Yeah, right.
So that's hard.
It's probably Bagwell or Giambi when you look at the total body of work.
Who's pitching? Am I taking the righty or am I taking the lefty?
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna take Giambi at DH with Bagwell on the bench.
Okay.
Deal.
Yeah.
We'll cover lefty and righty.
Yeah.
Deal.
Starting pitcher, it's Johan Santana.
I mean, I agree because he was my pick, but Justin Verlander is way up there.
Yeah. I mean, John Smoltz
is also way up there.
He's one of the best pitchers that's ever stepped on the field. Like I don't know how you can so easily say.
I'd keep him for the closer because he was such a good closer.
Okay.
Would you rather see him as a starter?
I mean, I guess I don't really care as long as he's on the team.
Oh yeah, no, I would argue with him for the closer for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, then I can deal with that then.
All right.
And if it's not Smoltz as a starting pitcher, I would say Johan.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're unanimous on Johan Santana.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. 213 wins, 154 saves was Smoltz. I mean, like
dumb. It's dumb.
Nuts. 3,000 strikeouts, almost 3,500 innings pitched. I mean, gross.
And the dude was better after he got his elbow chopped up.
Yeah. So he's on the roster. So
all right. So we're going Johan. So reliever, we had what? Nathan Nelson and who else do we have?
Jabba Chamberlain, JJ Putz were given to us. Those are
I like the JJ Putz one to be honest.
Too.
Let's go JJ Putz. You win, John.
Yep. I love that pick. That's
John's going to sneak in there with a JJ Putz pick. All right.
I like that.
Yep.
And then closer, I think it's got to go Smoltz.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the only way to get him on the roster. So
it's a good squad.
Yeah.
That team might win a few games.
Maybe.
It's a good squad.
Even now,
we'll do another letter. What do we want to do? Like R next week?
R?
Yeah.
Sure.
Probably do
R
that.
next week.
We could do any letter.
Let's do R.
I was thinking Q or X, to be honest.
Of course you were.
You got Quentin McCracken. You got
if we go X, we got Xander, and that's it. The whole team's gonna be built around Xander.
Yeah, Xavier Nady. Come on now. There's more.
Oh, true. There are a few more.
Not many. But
not many.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky to fill out the first 3 spots in your lineup, but
that's fine. Yeah, I think R is a good one.
Let's go R.
All right.
That'd be a hard one, but we got it. All right. I don't have anything else tonight. Do you have anything you want to add to the show before we wrap it on up?
Just a couple interesting pieces of news.
Bring it.
So our good friend that we were kind of ragging on earlier, Anthony Rendon, has been activated and is expected to return.
For how many games?
He's batting tonight. He's in the lineup tonight. So, I mean, we'll probably see him through the All-Star break. Then he'll be out again. But it's nice of him to come back to work for a little while.
He only does baseball because it's a career.
Right. It's a job, and he works hard at it. It's a grind. He doesn't really like it, but strange. All right, so Rendon is after missing 69 games with a strained left hamstring. It's gonna be a heck of a strain.
Sure.
He's back in the lineup tonight.
Crazy.
Ellie De La Cruz, because he's got nothing else to do, is currently learning Japanese, so he actually talked to Shohei Ohtani at the All-Star game.
Saw that. It's awesome.
Only Ellie De La Cruz is going to learn Japanese to talk to Shohei, which is nice. That means he can give his interpreter the night off to go hit the casino. Is it too soon for that?
No, never.
Oh, okay, good. And that was it. Just some kind of random news tidbits.
Yeah. So still kind of waiting to see who these other 3 participants for the Derby on Monday night will be. We will be on live kind of watching the Derby. We will still have like a full show. What we've done in the past, we've done our show, ended the stream, and then come kind of right back on to finish watching the Derby. So that's probably what we'll do next Monday. But thanks everyone for. Oh, go ahead.
I do have one more interesting thing. It just hit the Associated Press. Raul Mondesi, former Dodger,
I just saw that. Yeah,
was sentenced to 6 years and 9 months in jail for embezzling $5 million during his time as the mayor of San Cristobal between 2010 and 2016.
Yeah.
So Raul Mondesi is going to go spend 6 years, almost 7 years in jail.
Yeah. So we
I
do.
saw that this afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have one request here from John. Would love to hear us debate fringe Hall of Famers in future shows.
It's my.
Oh my God, we love this topic every year.
It's my favorite thing to get all gassed up about. I love it in every sport. Sport.
Yeah, John, help us out. Are there any particular players other than Jeff Kent that you'd want us to debate? Because we've gone down this road with a lot of players, and we're happy to do it again. But if there's players you've got in mind, we'd love to know who they are.
And there's plenty of guys that are in that I don't think should be. Like, it goes both ways.
Harold Baines.
Those are the ones that chap my ass more than the other way around.
Yeah, right.
I get chapped with guys that are in, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like Fred McGriff, who you could argue.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, I'm done. I'm
down.
down.
John, we love that topic. We love it.
That will be in. So
I got to rest up for this one.
Sean's already making notes.
I'm gassed up.
Yeah. Get those throat lodgers ready.
We spent all this past off season beating up on the Hall of Fame, so I can't. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah. I mean, and it's coming because the induction's the 23rd, I think. 22nd or 23rd.
We've got a whole nother year of them screwing it up to talk about. So
yeah, fringe Hall of Famers like Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, fringe guys like that. But
anyways,
I love that. So we will definitely throw that topic in there.
Love it.
So, all right. Well, thanks for chiming in, everybody. It was awesome. Great show. That was a lot of fun. Had a lot to cover, but thanks for helping these guys out with the team, and much appreciated for watching. So, before you go, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And we will be on next Monday for the Derby at 8 p.m.
All right.
See you.